I was robbed by crackheads.
I'm wondering why you keep your crack in your car.
That's the second time this week.
Maybe that's not where you should keep your crack.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to need your license and registration.
Yes, that weird shit did happen.
We have to report this.
MADCAST is recorded before a live studio audience.
Welcome to MADCAST. This episode, we take you to Bayonne, New Jersey, the setting for Christmas, culture, and crackheads. A true story. Take it away, my brother Steve.
I'm a guy that lives in Northeast Philly. I work for a health system way up in northern New Jersey. They send us up there a couple times a year, but because it's Christmas time, the boss has a special little something for us on Wednesday, a dinner, and we all go out drinking, which is very nice.
They actually selected Bayonne, New Jersey.
That's the headquarters.
All right.
And my wife had purchased, it's like a torso of an elf. Imagine an elf, but only from the waist down. And you take this product and you open your trunk and you tie it to your trunk and then you slam the trunk. And it looks as if perhaps an elf was digging into your trunk and somebody slammed it on them, you know? Ha ha, funny.
So you're in Bayonne, New Jersey, doing horrible things with a bent-over elf in the back of your car.
It's 5 a.m. I get up, get out of my house, got my bags packed, walking up the street to my car. Son of a bitch, all four doors are all wide open, the trunk's wide open, and all my shit's all over the sidewalk. God damn it, robbed by crackheads. Rob knows what I'm talking about. It's something that happens. You can't get yourself too upset about it, but I was robbed by crackheads. I got to grab up all my personal items off of the street, off of the sidewalk. I pack it all in, I make sure the car's clean. There ain't no needles or nothing like that. Okay, the day got off to a bad start, but I ain't going to whine about it, right? Pack up my stuff. I head to Bayonne. I'm up there for 3 days working. And then, of course, on Wednesday after work, boss takes us all to dinner. And after dinner, we all go to the bar. Before we go to the bar, lady boss walks over to me and says, "Hey, Steve, I got to talk to you. Listen, tonight, after they leave the bar, I need you to drive 2 people back to the hotel. Pat, who's some crazy guy from freaking Baltimore, and there's a new lady. Her name is Lauren. She's from Wisconsin. I don't even know her. I don't want either one of them to take a cab or an Uber. Because last year, Pat took an Uber and he ended up in Atlantic City with Mitt, the Indian guy who's a super genius, and he wasn't prepared the next morning for the presentation."
Wouldn't you prefer to be in Atlantic City than Bayonne? How did you know they were crackheads? And did you say lady boss?
I know what it looks like when my car is robbed by crackheads. I think Rob could testify that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And yes, lady boss. So I go to the bar, right? We're all at the bar and I figured, you know what? I know Pat. He's a crazy dude. I figure I better go find him. And there he is, of course, up at the bar. And I say, "Hey, Pat, look, this is the deal. I don't care when you go. When you go, I got to take you back to the hotel." He goes, "No problem, but I got Mitt with me." Mitt, that Indian, the super genius Indian. Yeah. I know they kind of hang out a little bit. Mitt's super genius, really smart guy, you know.
When he said he's with Mitt, were you like a little more relaxed? And you're like, well, he's with Mitt. How can he get in trouble?
I got to tell you, though, I was surprised that last year Mitt was the one he went to Atlantic City with. So, I don't know Mitt that well, but learned a lot about Mitt that night, and you're going to learn about Mitt in the next 5 minutes.
All right.
I look across the bar, and there's Santa Claus. Santa's trashed, and Mitt's next to him. And they all got these empty shots in front of them, and Mitt, he's like, "Ha ha, you fucking crazy!" Ah! You know, yelling and screaming at Santa. I'm like, oh shit, I got to drive this guy home. All right. So I figured, all right, I got Pat, I got Mitt, I better find Lauren, right? I finally find Lauren. She's a very normal person, nice lady, mom. She's from Wisconsin. So I say, "Hey, listen, you know, she's all happy and I'm going to drive her home." I go, "All we got to do is round up these 2 guys." And of course, they're gone. They're at another bar, you know, so we had to track them down to this next bar where they were drinking even more. So finally I get to this point. I say, "Listen, guys, you know, I got to take you back to the hotel, you know, under boss's directive," right? So we all leave that second bar. We're walking up the streets in my car. God damn it. My 4 doors are all wide open. The trunk is up and all my shit's all over the street, all over the sidewalk. Shit's everywhere. Pat's from Baltimore. He looks at me, he goes, "Holy shit, you were robbed by crackheads. Son of a bitch." That's the second time this week, you know? And Mitt's like, oh, man, that sucks. Mitt's from New York City, by the way, right? So Lauren, who's from Wisconsin, says, hold up. Hold up. What? You were robbed? You know, we're like, yeah, we were robbed by... You were robbed by crackheads twice this week? She's just mesmerized. She has no idea what the three of us are talking about, you know? She's like, why do these crackheads keep robbing you? I'm like, it's not the same crackhead. I got up in Philly on Monday, and of course my car was robbed by crackheads. Packed all that up. I up here over 3 days, and here I am on Wednesday night. Son of a bitch, my car was robbed by crackheads again, you know? So I'm explaining that, and the guys get it, but of course Lauren is just, we have to report this. This has to be reported. And I'm like, nah, you know, we don't, you know, Pat's like, yeah, we don't have, no. We have to call the police right now. And Mitch, and he's like, nah, you don't have to report this. Nah.
Did anybody explain to her that calling the police just delays getting home and nothing will be done?
Exactly, yeah.
The cops are going to show up and you're going to tell them, you have any leads?
I'm wondering why you keep your crack in your car.
Right. Why? If you don't want to get robbed by crackheads, maybe that's not where you should keep your crack.
I don't think you took our point.
About a mile from the hotel. Of course, the New Jersey state troopers got me pulled over. Everybody's like, you know, a little surprised. Lauren's back there like, oh my God. You know, she's up worried, you know. So the cop, I roll down the windows and he says to me, listen, sir, you have Christmas decorations in the back of your car. That's illegal in New Jersey. I understand. Your plate is from Pennsylvania. I'm going to need your license and registration, and you're going to have to remove that ornament. And I was like, yeah, okay. Right. Pat, do you mind popping Pat pops it, and all the papers come flying out because we were just robbed. And Goofy Pat says to the cop, I'm sorry about that, sir. We just got robbed by crackheads. You know what I mean?
Third time you heard that this week.
Of course, the officer, the first thing he says is, did you guys report this? Freaking Wisconsin's back there, like, tits all out, peacocking. I told them. He says, sir, I'm going to need you to step out of the car. I'm like, oh, shit. I got my paperwork, but the boss told me to drive these people home, so I only had like 10 beers, you know? I get out of the car, and I can tell that he's eyeballing me, and he ain't going to bust me for DUI, so I'm feeling confident about that. He says, come to your trunk and please put away this ornament. I open up the trunk. He takes his flashlight. I can only assume he's looking for the other half of the elf. You know, perhaps there was an elf missing from a Macy's display somewhere. I don't know. But he says, I'm going to run you. Go sit in your car, right? Pretty confident. I don't have to worry about a DUI situation. But this is where the story gets weird. You know?
Oh, this is where it gets weird. Right here. Uh-huh. This is the part that's weird.
I'm walking back to the car, and I hear yelling and screaming, like a lot of yelling and screaming. I open the car, I go and I sit down, and Mitt, our Indian super genius, is freaking the hell out. All of a sudden, he's acting like a pseudo character, like a rap star from the 90s. What the fuck? Goddamn 5-0 motherfucker! Fucking always trying to keep a man down. Mitt is flipping out, keeps saying 5-0 bitches, pig. He's upset. He's crazy upset. In the back of my car, when the cops got...
Wait. This is the nerd? The guy who's very intelligent?
Yes.
Continue.
He kept saying, freaking 5-0, always trying to keep me down. New York City. Like it sounded like he was trying to portray a character, because that is not how Mitt acts. So I say to Pat, yo, what the hell is up with Mitt? And Pat's like, oh, yeah, he gets crazy when he drinks. Didn't I tell you that? Last summer, he got in a fight with all these bouncers at the bar. He's nuts, you know what I mean? I was like, well, I don't give a shit. Tell him to chill the hell out, because I got a situation over here. Wisconsin's like, I got to get out of here. I'm like, just chill out. Everybody just chill out, right? So Mitt is like stolen now, but he's still portraying some kind of character. But he's like, all right, Steven, I'll be cool for you. But that shit, that 5-0 shit pissed me off.
So wait a minute. Is he about to go into the drunk, I love you, man?
Don't know him well enough. At work, he's not like that at all, you know?
We'll tell that story on the next podcast. Yes, that weird shit did happen.
So, Steve, did Mitt ever calm down?
Mitt calms down, but he's still portraying I call it a rap star character, because he's talking like a rough Brooklyn guy or something. And he's like, I'll be cool for you. I'll be cool for you because you always good to me. And he's like, especially after you got robbed by crackheads and all that shit, Wisconsin's like twice. I was like, yeah. Police officers coming out of his car. Mitt's calming down, gives me my paperwork and a warning. Where are you guys going? Just asking questions. I still suspected he had a DUI thought in his brain. And I said, no, we're heading about a mile up that road. All right, sir, go about your way. Have happy holidays. So we drive about another mile, get to the parking lot. I drop them off. And Wisconsin says to me, do you mind if I tell everybody about this tomorrow? The end.
All right, man.
Did Wisconsin ever go back to Bayonne?
That's coming up.
Well, you should definitely tell her at the next event, if she needs a ride, you take her.
Tell her you have a crack-proof car now.
If she ever comes to Philadelphia, just offer your brother Rob will drive you around.
Mitt came up to me the next day and he was like, I must apologize for my behavior last night. That's all right, buddy.
Was your car locked? Because you shouldn't lock the car.
Unless you have a Jeep. You can't lock a Jeep, man. When Sean and I used to live in Adams Morgan in D.C., I would never lock my car because they would just cut through the roof. And then homeless guys in the neighborhood would sleep in my car. I mean, all the time. I'd come out early in the morning. I'm not going to call the cops. I'm not going to get in a fight with them. I'm just going to tell them, boys, it's checkout time, man.
911. There's guys in my car.
Are you from Wisconsin, sir?